What if I told you that most people today are quietly surrendering? Not because they lack ability, but because they lack inner toughness. We scroll endlessly, measure ourselves against strangers, feel jealous, and then wonder why we're stuck, drained, or directionless. We chase ease and somehow end up exhausted. We run from discomfort yet suffer anyway. The truth is uncomfortable. Comfort is slowly weakening us. And the struggle we avoid is the very thing that holds the roots of real strength. But here's the twist. The ancient Stoics understood all of this long before phones, feeds, or self-help gurus existed. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome and one of the sharpest Stoic minds, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That isn't just a quote. It's a weapon, a lens for living, a way to stay calm in chaos and unbreakable under pressure. Stoicism won't make life easier. It makes you tougher. And in this video, we're going deep into 8 ruthless Stoic principles that will force you to upgrade mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. No motivational fluff, just honest, cutting truth. Each principle comes straight from real Stoic philosophy battle, tested in ancient Rome, still painfully relevant today. Before we start, I need one thing from you. If you're serious about growth, don't just sit there consuming this like another feel-good clip. This is not background noise. This is your alarm clock. Hit like right now. Drop a comment when something lands. Share this with someone who needs a push. And most importantly, don't skip. One missed principle could cost you clarity or courage when you need it most. Let's begin. Most of us were taught to avoid pain. The Stoics taught the opposite. Move toward it with open eyes. Think about your most powerful transformation. Did it happen while everything was calm, easy, and pleasant? Or did it happen during life's hardest punches, when you had to choose, rise, or stay shattered? Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, sickness, and wars, yet he led with stillness. He didn't flee discomfort. He let it mold him. The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That isn't poetic noise, it's a rule. Each struggle sharpens your determination. Each delay tests your patience. Each rejection strengthens your resilience. Modern life says, stay comfortable. Stoicism replies, train. Cold shower, a test. Difficult conversation, a path. Dragging yourself to the gym when tired. That's your character being sculpted by choosing controlled discomfort. By choosing controlled discomfort. By choosing controlled discomfort. Seneca slept on hard floors, ate bland food, wore simple clothes, not out of misery, but preparation. Because when life removed comfort, he wasn't shaken. He was ready. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your reflection. It shows you who you truly are and who you're becoming. Avoiding small pain now guarantees bigger pain later. But lean into discomfort. Walk through the fire with intention, and something incredible happens. The fear dissolves. That's where freedom begins. Treat discomfort like a sparring partner. It may bruise you, but it builds you. Choose one discomfort today, no hesitation. Cold shower, hard talk. Sit alone with your thoughts. This is how warriors are built. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Discomfort strengthens me. How many days have your emotions hijacked your actions? Someone insults you, you explode. Plans change. Your mood collapses. You feel lazy. You ditch discipline. It's not just you, it's universal. But here's the brutal truth. If your emotions run you, you're enslaved by them. And the Stoics believed emotional slavery was worse than physical chains. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic philosopher, said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." Think about that. The driver who cut you off, you handed them your peace. The breakup, you gave it your identity. That rude comment online, you offered it your joy. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress feelings. It teaches you to watch them, understand them, and respond instead of reacting blindly. A child throws tantrums. A Stoic thinks in the middle of the storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it. and you have the power to revoke this at any moment. That is true control, the ability to not be rattled by what doesn't deserve your energy. And yes, it's harsh, because it means you can't blame others. He made me mad. She ruined my day. No, your reaction was your choice. But here's the empowering part. You can choose differently. You can feel anger without acting out. Feel fear and still move. Feel sorrow without drowning in it. That is emotional power. And when you develop that stillness, people feel it. You stop being pushed around by the world. Real growth begins when you stop being a puppet and become the master. One of the quickest paths to misery is believing life should be fair. You work hard, someone else gets the reward. You love someone leaves. You do right and still get hurt. Then you say, this isn't fair. But fairness is a fantasy we invent, not a law of nature. Even Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, witnessed injustice constantly. But instead of spiraling into self-pity, he anchored himself in one truth. Life isn't about fairness. Life is about strength. Stoics expected adversity, loss, betrayal, death, chaos, so they were mentally ready. Let's be raw. Fairness feels good, but clinging to it makes you fragile. Most of the time when we say, this isn't fair, what we really mean is, I don't want to handle this. But here's the Stoic rule. You don't grow by demanding fairness. You grow by accepting reality and advancing anyway. Bad things happen to good people. Corrupt people sometimes win. Effort doesn't always equal reward. That's not pessimism. It's life. The difference between average and unstoppable is simple. The average waits for fairness. The Stoic builds inner strength so powerful that unfairness can't break them. The Stoic said, your power exists in one small space, what is actually within your control. Everything outside that, let it go. We live in a world obsessed with comfort. That's why discipline has become a rare superpower. The Stoics didn't wait for hardship to arrive. They trained for it, not to suffer but to prepare. Seneca wrote, set aside a few days in which you live with the bare essentials and ask yourself, is this what I feared? Voluntary discomfort was a drill, a training ground for the mind. Today, most people avoid discomfort entirely, never hungry, never unplugged, never still. Then when life hits them, they collapse, they panic, they blame. The Stoic has already rehearsed the struggle. They've practiced hunger, discomfort, boredom, fatigue, rejection. They aren't invincible. Challenge does. When hardship arrives, and it always arrives, you won't crumble. You'll rise. Marcus Aurelius endured plagues, betrayal, and war, yet he wrote with clarity, because hardship never surprised him. When hardship is expected, it loses its power. So stop asking, how can life be easier? Ask, how can I become stronger? Practice hunger, solitude, cold, exhaustion, uncertainty. Train your focus in discomfort. Because one day, life will demand more from you than you think you can give, and that day, you'll be ready. We're conditioned to obsess over results, promotion, achievements, money, praise, admiration. Stoicism flips that completely. Detach from outcomes. Because yourself up for disappointment, but effort always is. You love you love someone. When you cling to outcomes, you set yourself up for disappointment. You work out for a week, no abs, you give up. You launch something, it flops, you feel worthless. You love someone, they leave. You fall apart. Most people live like they're immortal. They postpone dreams, waste time, stay stuck in bad habits and worse relationships. The Stoics did the opposite. They reflected on death, not to be morbid, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. No someday. Most people live for validation, for likes, praise, crowds, applause. The Stoic doesn't move for attention. The Stoic moves for principle, Marcus Aurelius said. Just do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Meaning, do what's right even when no one notices. Tell the truth even without applause. Keep your promises even when inconvenient. Train hard even when nobody sees. Virtue is strength, an inner core no one can buy or break. Being virtue is strength, an inner core no one can buy or break. It means being consistent. Here's the hard truth. The right choice is usually the difficult one. Lies are easier than honesty. Faking is easier than authenticity. Approval is easier than integrity. But every time you choose principle over convenience, you fortify your character. You become someone your future self respects, someone whose identity can't be shaken by circumstances. Seneca said, "Conduct your life as if the whole world could see your thoughts. Stop living for applause. Live for your values. Live in a way that even if everything were taken from you, you'd remain whole. When you no longer need approval, you become the kind of person people admire anyway. Be the warrior for what is right, not what is popular. Even if you stand alone, walk like it is the only path worth walking. If you're still here, it means something inside you is ready to ascend, ready to drop distractions, weakness, and emotional chaos, ready to step into a higher version of yourself. Not perfection, power, not superiority over others, mastery over yourself. That is the Stoic journey. It doesn't promise ease, it promises direction, it promises meaning. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't write for comfortable lives. They wrote for war, hardship, betrayal, and loss, and how to face it all with dignity. They taught that true strength isn't muscle or wealth. It's the person who keeps their word, the person who moves through fear, the person who chooses right even when wrong is easier. You don't need motivation. You don't need the perfect timing. You just need to begin. Train your mind. Expect difficulty. Release the outcome. Honor your principles. Live like time is running out because it is. And the best part? You don't need praise. You don't need everyone to understand you. Because once you walk the Stoic path, your strength comes from within, and no one can take it. That kind of power is rare, it's genuine, and it's yours. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am becoming unshakable day by day. If this message spoke to you, if something inside you sparked, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video. Write your favorite law. Share it with someone who's on their journey. Subscribe and join a community of thinkers, warriors, and true seekers who want more than noise. They want purpose. And remember, don't skip parts of your life. Every moment is training. Every struggle is transformation. Keep showing up. Keep choosing strength. And don't stop.